the Leviathan of the Forgotten Four. All I needed were 2 specific drops. That was it. So I locked myself here for 1,000 kills. I made an insane amount of GP. I pulled some huge uniques. But this grind, after countless sessions, turned into something I wasn't prepared for. Hello YouTube, my name is Shiva, and for the past year, I've grinded the Forgotten Four, trying to put together a couple Soul Reaper axes. Starting with Duke, into Vardorvis, and then Whisper, which has finally put me here, at Leviathan. And today I am shooting for 2 lures, and at 1 in 768, I figured 1,000 kills would probably get me at least 1, right? And here is the gear I'll be working with today, which is the full Masori Fortified. I got a Dizana's Quiver with a Blessing Ruby Dragon Bolts E, with a Zerite Crossbow, Twisted Buckler, Barrows Clubs, don't judge me, I was too cheap to buy Zerite Band Braces, a Vernic Treads, and a Light Bearer for the sweet, sweet specs. And for inventory, I have an Ancient Scepter with a Shadow Crystal for easy switch barrages, a Crossbow, a couple of Prayer Pots, Mantas, and Karam Wands, my Construction Cape for easy tellies home, the Shadow Ring, or whatever the f it's called, range pots, and my runes for Shadow Barrage. And with all that covered, let's get into it, shall we? Alright, so I'm gonna let the first kill play out here so you can kind of get an idea of what I do. I have my first red starting tile marked there. You can see in the top left hand corner I have marked for when the aura spawns during Enrage. And I usually let the fight go on like normal until about the second faster phase where it starts throwing in the melee orbs. And then I'll cast my Shadow Barrage and hit him from the back. And just for full transparency, you might notice my mouse clicks are kind of unnatural in some cases maybe. But that's mostly because I don't actually play with a mouse. I play on a drawing tablet. As you can see, I have a stylus, and I mostly use this because my mouse clicks are absolute ass, and I have no accuracy whatsoever, so I find this kind of helps. Also, why my inventory happens to be situated the way it is. And we're coming up on a faster phase, so I'm going to throw my Shadow Barrage and run behind. Hit him and move here to avoid the boulders. And then I usually throw a cheeky little attack there on the end. Run back out and continue the kill as normal. And we're coming up on the end here, so I'm going to throw on my crossbow, move into position, and hit it with a couple specs. And that should finish her off. Absolutely love that weapon. And that is 1 full kill. Now that you kind of have an idea of what we're doing here, let's go ahead and move on to the actual grind. Alright, first 100 kills down. The goal for this is pretty simple. Just looking for at least 1 lure. I figure if I commit to 1000 KC, there's no way I don't see at least that. So this first session was mostly just getting back into the rhythm, you know, kicking off the dust, getting back into the swing of the mechanics. Kill times were feeling pretty good. So far, nothing big. No uniques, no lure, but honestly, 100 kills is nothing on a grind like this. So yeah, 900 to go. Alright, and here we're coming up on 200 kills in. At this point, I was absolutely warmed up, so you know it was all smooth sailing. High hopes, baby. Still no lure yet, but I'm not even worried about it just yet. It's still early enough that going dry here doesn't really mean anything. If anything, I'd rather the RNG even out later. So yeah, 800 kills left. 300 KC, baby. Now we're really starting to get into grind territory. Still no lore at this point, which is fine. But this is about where I started to expect to see something. And then out of nowhere, this happened. Virtus robe top, baby, let's go. I finished out the rest of 300 high on the fact that I just hit 51.5 mil.
Yeah, boy.
Alright, here we are at 400 KC. After getting that Virtus robe top last session, I was feeling pretty good. Hitting 51.5 mil this early into the grind is definitely a boost to morale. And honestly, at this point, I was convinced the lures would come soon. If I'm hitting uniques this early, surely the one I actually need isn't far behind, right? That's kind of the beauty of these things, though. You never really know what could happen. We just gotta keep sending it. And I did just that. 500 KC. After the early spike, it felt like the grind was going exactly how it should. I wasn't even thinking about going dry yet. I just assumed the lures would show up eventually. But this stretch was pretty quiet. No big moments, no real excitement, just consistent kills, normal loot, which is fine, But this is where I kind of started to realize it might not be as straightforward as I thought. We are halfway to 1,000. Oh, and I got a chromium ingot, so there's that at least. 600 KC. This is where things just started feeling a little strange. At this point, I really thought I'd have at least one lure. The GP was stacking up, which was nice, but that's not really why I'm here. Every kill started feeling like it should be this one, maybe that one, maybe this one, but it just wasn't. And this is where things really started to drag on. We just gotta keep our head in the game and keep sending it. Alright, we are 700 kills in. At this point, I had to kind of reset my mindset. I was starting to focus too much on what I wasn't getting. Realistically, this is how grinds go. You don't just sign up for 1,000 kills expecting it to be smooth the whole way, But I did get a lot of food drops here. I did die a couple times, especially in this specific session, so it was kind of hard to keep up that fight, if you know what I mean. Alright, coming in at just over 800 KC here. At this point, I kind of accept the grind for what it was. Just log in, do the kills, don't overthink it. Just kind of coming to terms with the fact that I am almost 3 times dry. And then this happened.
Really? Oh, so that's how you're gonna play it. You gonna do this? Okay, fine.
That's right. A Venator Vestige. The same drop rate as the lore. I could have had it. Right there. Never lucky. Am I right? But hey, it wasn't all bad. At least we made 49.3 mil. And here we are. Final stretch. And I'm not gonna lie, this felt like a real nail in the coffin. Because not only did I hit one, but I hit 2 separate gold ring drops, practically back to back. So I was definitely hitting the table. I was just missing the lure, over and over and over again. At this point, I was officially 3 times dry on a lure. Alright, So, I messed up. And about halfway through the grind, I deleted my loot logger somehow. So stick with me here, I'm about to do some weird math. So I have starting, mid, and ending loot log screenshots. Which means I'm going to have to take this value, subtract this value, and then add it to this value. So we have 242 mil minus 170 equals 72. Then I'll add that with 62.3 mil, which gives us a total of 134. But also accounting for the 49.3 we made from the veterinary ring gives us a grand total of 183.6 mil, which honestly ain't too bad. And then roughly estimating for the cost of supplies, I'd say it probably spent about 30 mil, which gave us closer to about 153 mil profit gained overall. But not a single lore. But oh well. There's always next time.